Aaron had always loved the quiet. The city was too loud, full of cars, crowds, and noise that never stopped. So when he got tired of everything, he packed a bag and drove far into the mountains, where his family had an old wooden cabin. The cabin had been empty for years. His grandfather had built it when Aaron was just a boy. It stood near a forest, quiet and untouched, with snow still covering the trees even in early spring. The air was fresh, cold, and still. Aaron pushed open the creaky door. The cabin was dusty. Spider webs clung to the corners. An old fireplace sat cold, and the wooden floor creaked under his boots. He took a deep breath. This would be his peaceful escape. He lit a small fire, unpacked his bag, and started cleaning. He swept the floor, wiped down the furniture, and checked the old pantry. Some cans were still good. He found the hidden key to the small cellar under the floor. Everything was just as he remembered. But on the second night, something strange happened. Aaron woke up to a soft sound, like someone moving. He sat up in bed and listened. The fire was low. The room was dark, lit only by moonlight from the window. The sound came again, a quiet footstep, then silence. He grabbed a flashlight and checked the door, locked from the inside. He peeked out the window. No footprints in the snow. He told himself it was just an animal outside, maybe a raccoon or deer. Still, he couldn't sleep easily. The next day, more odd things happened. He noticed his bread was half gone, though he was sure he hadn't touched it. A spoon was missing. One of the blankets had been moved. That night, Aaron placed a small bell on the door, just to make sure no one entered. But in the middle of the night, the bell didn't ring, and still, he heard the floor creak again. He rose slowly and picked up the flashlight. This time, he didn't speak. He moved carefully, listening. He looked behind the curtains, checked the door again. Then, he noticed something strange near the fireplace. One of the wooden floorboards looked newer than the others. Aaron knelt down. He touched it. It felt loose. Carefully, he pried it open. It revealed a small, dark space beneath, the crawl space under the cabin. He shone the flashlight inside and saw eyes. Wide, silver eyes stared back at him. He jumped back, heart pounding. "Who's there?" he asked, but no reply came. The figure slowly moved forward. A girl. No. A woman crawled out, her movements slow and unsure. She looked thin, pale, and dressed in strange, torn clothing that shimmered like metal but looked soft like cloth. Her hair was long, tangled, and silver blonde. Her skin was pale, almost glowing in the light, though not brightly. She didn't look sick or dangerous. She looked lost. Aaron stepped back. "You've been hiding under my cabin." The woman said nothing. She just stared at him, breathing lightly. Her eyes moved around the room, then settled back on him. She held her arms close, like she was cold or afraid. He didn't know what to do. Call for help? But who would believe him? She didn't look like she belonged here. Not in these woods. Not in this world. "Are you okay?" he asked, more gently. This time, "Do you speak English?" Still no reply. She tilted her head slightly, as if trying to understand. Then she slowly nodded. Just once. That was something. Aaron reached for the blanket nearby and slowly handed it to her. She took it carefully, wrapping it around her shoulders. Her fingers were long, her nails smooth and flat, not sharp. She seemed tired, like she hadn't eaten properly in days. "I'm Aaron," he said slowly, pointing to himself. "Aaron." She watched him, then opened her mouth for the first time. Her voice was soft, almost like a whisper. "Luma," she said. Aaron's eyebrows rose. "Luma, that's your name." She nodded again. "All right, Luma. Are you hurt?" She shook her head. "Hungry?" Another small nod. He moved to the kitchen corner and brought her a slice of bread and a bottle of water. She sniffed the bread first, then took small bites. Her hands shook. She hadn't eaten well in a long time. He sat down near the fireplace, not too close to scare her. He didn't ask questions. Right away, he just let her eat, let her breathe. After some time, she looked around the room again. Her eyes settled on the small globe on the shelf. She stood and walked over to it. touching it gently. Then she pointed upward, toward the sky. You came from up there? Aaron asked quietly. Luma slowly nodded again. He didn't say anything. Not yet. He just watched her. Her eyes were full of things she hadn't said yet. Stories, fears, memories. He had so many questions, but he knew not to push too fast. That night, she curled up near the fire with the blanket. Aaron gave her space, taking the small couch instead of the bed. He watched her sleep for a while. She didn't snore. She hardly moved. She slept like someone who had been running for a very long time and finally found a place to stop. The stars above the cabin were bright and quiet. Something strange had begun in Aaron's quiet life. He didn't know if it would bring danger or wonder. But one thing was clear. This woman, Luma, wasn't from here. And she had been living in his cabin all along. The morning sun peeked through the cabin window. Cold light touched the wooden floor. Aaron woke up slowly on the couch. The fire had burned out. The cabin was quiet, too quiet. He sat up quickly and looked around. Luma was still there. She sat by the window, wrapped in the blanket, watching the snow-covered trees outside. She didn't move when Aaron woke up. She just stared at the forest like it was something new. Morning, Aaron said softly. Luma turned her head. Her silver eyes blinked. She didn't smile, but she didn't look scared anymore. Aaron stood and walked to the kitchen area. Are you hungry again? He asked. She nodded once. He made her some oatmeal. It was the best he could do with the supplies he had. He handed it to her, and she took it with both hands. She ate slowly, carefully, like she was still learning how to act around him. Aaron watched her in silence for a while. Her movements were smooth, quiet. She never made sudden motions. Her skin caught the morning light in a strange way, not glowing, but soft, almost like it absorbed the light instead of reflecting it. I want to understand. Aaron said gently, You said your name is Luma. She looked at him. Yes. Where are you from? She pointed upward again. Far. Stars. Aaron nodded slowly. You came from another world. She paused, then gave a soft reply. Yes, long ago. Her words were broken, slow, like she was still learning English. But she tried. How long have you been here? Aaron asked. Luma thought for a moment. Then she raised her fingers. For days, Aaron guessed. She shook her head. Then she bent her fingers and touched her wrist, like marking years. 4 years, he asked. Luma nodded. Aaron leaned back in his chair. He looked at her carefully. 4 years? She had been hiding under this cabin for that long. How? Why? He asked. Why were you hiding? She didn't answer at first. She looked down at her hands. Then she whispered, Ship broken. I fall. I hide. People chase. That made Aaron's heart beat a little faster. People chased you? She nodded. Not your people. My people? I not return. They think I break rules. She looked afraid as she said it. Her voice was soft, but her eyes were full of worry. So you ran. You've been hiding here all this time. Yes, Aaron was quiet. He didn't know what to say. This woman, this alien, had been living under his family's cabin for 4 years. She had survived alone, with no one to help her, eating small bits of food, hiding from both her people and his. You're safe here, Aaron said. I won't tell anyone. I promise. Luma looked at him. For the first time, she smiled. It was small, but real. Her shoulders relaxed a little. Later that day, Aaron gave her one of his old jackets. It was too big, but it helped her stay warm. He gave her socks, too, and helped clean her hands and face. She was quiet the whole time, but didn't push him. Away. In the evening, they sat near the fire again. Aaron brought out a notebook and drew a picture of the earth. This is my world, he said. Luma nodded. Then she took the pencil and drew something beside it, a star, and a line leading to a strange-shaped planet with rings. That's your world, he asked. She pointed to it. Home. What is it called? Luma said something in a soft voice. The word didn't sound like anything Aaron knew. It was smooth and musical, hard to repeat. He tried to say it. Sha, Lel. She smiled and nodded. Then Luma drew a ship, sharp, like a bird. with long wings and a glowing end. She pointed to it, then drew it falling toward Earth. That was you? Yes. You crashed? Yes. I come to learn, not hurt. Ship fall. Break. I live. Hide. Aaron felt a mix of wonder and sadness. Luma had come from another world just to learn. She didn't come with weapons or threats. She came with eyes full of curiosity, and her reward was fear, isolation, and cold. You're not bad, he said. You were just lost. Luma looked at him, as if trying to understand his words deeply. Then she nodded. That night, while Aaron was gathering firewood outside, he noticed something strange in the snow. Footprints. Not his, not Luma's, bigger. They led to the back of the cabin and stopped. He bent down and touched the prints. They were fresh, but there was no sign of the person now. When he returned, he didn't say anything to Luma right away. He didn't want to scare her, but inside, he felt uneasy. Was someone else watching the cabin? Before bed, Luma stood near the window again, staring up at the stars. Do you want to go back? Aaron asked. Luma was quiet. Then she said, I don't know. Why? She turned to him. I like quiet. I like trees. I like peace. Aaron nodded. He understood that feeling more than anyone. Maybe Earth was never her plan. But maybe Earth had given her something she didn't expect, a chance to find calm, even in a broken world. For the next few days, the mountain stayed calm. The snow began to melt a little as spring quietly pushed its way into the forest. Aaron and Luma slowly fell into a rhythm. He chopped wood, cooked simple meals, and taught her more English. She listened carefully, repeating each word in her soft voice. Luma was a fast learner. She still spoke slowly, but her understanding grew each day. Sometimes, she surprised Aaron by finishing his sentences. Other times, she would ask questions about trees, birds, and the stars. But Aaron couldn't stop thinking about the footprints he had seen outside the cabin. He didn't tell Luma yet. He didn't want to make her feel afraid again. He only kept a closer eye on the woods. One morning, after a quiet breakfast, Luma stood by the window, staring toward the trees. She turned to Aaron and said, I want to show you something. Aaron looked up from the book he was reading. What is it? My ship, she said. Aaron blinked. Your ship, it's still here. She nodded. Far. Hidden. You helped me. Yes. He stood up. Of course. Luma wrapped herself in a coat and boots that Aaron had given her. They stepped out into the cool air. The forest was quiet. Only the sound of soft wind through the trees. She led him deeper into the woods, walking with steady steps like she knew the path well. They walked for nearly an hour. The trees became thicker. The air smelled damp and earthy. At last, Luma stopped near a rocky hill. Thick bushes and fallen branches covered part of the slope. Luma looked at Aaron. Here. Aaron followed her as she pulled away a few branches. Beneath them, hidden behind rocks and layers of leaves, was something strange, a curved, silver surface. Cold to the touch, it shimmered slightly, even in the shadow. Aaron's eyes widened. This is it? Luma nodded. Together, they cleared more branches. A strange shape began to appear. It looked like a smooth, broken shell. The front end was buried in the dirt. The back end had cracks running through it. It was about the size of a small bus, but much thinner and longer. Aaron placed his hand on it. The metal felt warm, almost alive. For a second, he saw something in his mind, a flash of stars, lights, and speed. He pulled his hand away quickly. Luma noticed. Ship remembers, she said. Still holds memory. What happened? When it crashed, bad weather. I lose power. Ship fall. Aaron walked around the half-buried craft. One side had a small opening, like a door, but it was bent and stuck. I come here many times, Luma said. Try fix. Need help. What do you need? Luma knelt near the back of the ship. A panel opened with a quiet click. Inside were wires, glowing lights, and strange shapes. Aaron didn't understand. Energy. Small parts. Not from my world. From yours. You mean tools? She nodded. Tools? Metal. Energy box. Battery? Aaron asked. Yes, battery. Aaron thought for a moment. He had some old batteries back at the cabin, and maybe he could find parts from the broken radio or the solar panels stored in the shed. "I'll help you," he said. "We'll fix it." Luma gave him a small, thankful smile. They covered the ship again with the branches and leaves. Aaron marked the path in his mind. He knew how to get back. As they returned to the cabin, he noticed Luma walking more confidently. She was not just surviving now, she was hoping. Back at the cabin, Aaron dug through the storage room. He found tools, wires, batteries, and pieces of old machines. Luma looked at each item, choosing what she needed. They made a plan every day. They would carry supplies to the ship. Every night, they would rest and share stories. Aaron told her about his childhood, about building the cabin with his grandfather, and about life in the city. Luma told him about her world, how the skies were green, the ocean's deep purple, and the animals sang instead of roared. One evening, as they sat near the fire, Luma asked, "Why you come here?" Alone, Aaron looked into the flames. "I was tired. The world was loud. People rushed everywhere. No time to think. I wanted silence, peace." Luma nodded. "Same. My world loud too. Many rules. No time to breathe." They shared a quiet moment, understanding each other in a way that didn't need many words. But peace didn't last long. 2 days later, while returning from the ship, Aaron saw something strange. A small drone, flying high, almost hidden by clouds. It moved in slow circles above the forest, then flew away. He said nothing to Luma, but his mind raced. Was someone searching the area? Had they found something? That night, he couldn't sleep. Luma noticed something wrong. Aaron finally told her about the drone. She listened, her face calm at first, then slowly serious. "They come," she said. "Not yours. Mine. You're sure?" She nodded. "Ship sent signal when it fell. They wait. Maybe now they see." Aaron looked at her. "What do they want?" She looked down. "Take me. Punish. Or, worse." He stood up. "We won't let that happen. I'll help you fix the ship. You'll leave before they find us." Luma looked at him, her eyes soft. "You help much." "Why?" Aaron didn't answer right away. Then he said, "Because you needed someone, and so did I." The days grew longer and warmer as spring began to spread over the mountain. The snow melted faster, revealing green moss and tiny flowers pushing through the soil. Aaron and Luma worked quietly, but always with purpose. They carried tools, wires, and old batteries back and forth from the cabin to the hidden ship. Aaron was amazed at how much Luma knew about the ship. Though broken and buried, it still hummed softly, like a sleeping giant waiting to wake. Together, they cleaned the panels, fixed small wires, and tried to reconnect parts. One evening, while they were repairing the ship's energy core, Aaron noticed something strange in the sky. First, it was a faint glow, soft and blue, moving slowly among the stars. Then, another light appeared, this one brighter and sharper, like a small star blinking near the horizon. "Look," Aaron said, pointing. "Do you see that?" Luma stopped, working, and looked up. Her silver eyes widened. "They come," she whispered. "My people." Aaron's heart beat faster. The quiet mountain suddenly felt less safe. For the next few nights, the strange lights grew closer. They moved with purpose, slowly sweeping over the forest and the cabin. Sometimes, a soft hum filled the air, a sound not quite like anything Aaron had ever heard before. It was both beautiful and frightening. One night, Aaron sat near the cabin door, watching the sky. Suddenly, a small drone flew low over the trees, its lights blinking. It hovered for a moment, then zipped away silently. Aaron called to Luma. "They're definitely watching." Luma's face was calm but serious. "Yes, they want to find ship. Find me." "Are they coming here?" Aaron asked. "They may, soon." The thought made Aaron's stomach tighten. He looked at Luma. Despite the danger, she didn't show fear. Instead, she seemed focused, almost ready. "We have to finish fixing the ship," Aaron said. "Then you can leave before they get here." Luma nodded. "Yes, but need more parts." "More parts?" Aaron asked. "Where will we find them?" She pointed to the cabin. "They're old things, tools, metal. Aaron understood. He began searching the shed and storage rooms for anything useful. Broken electronics, wires, batteries, solar panels, everything might help. Together, they worked faster, moving with a new urgency. Every night, the strange lights grew closer. The drone appeared more often. Aaron felt the pressure of time like never before. One evening, while replacing a damaged wire on the ship, Luma looked at Aaron. "You help much," she said softly. "Thank you." Aaron smiled. "We're friends. I want you safe." Luma's eyes shone in the firelight. "Friends?" "Yes." As the nights passed, the tension in the air grew thicker. Aaron caught himself looking up at the sky more often, wondering if the visitors were already near. Then, one night, it happened. A bright light appeared over the mountain ridge. It was larger than the drones, a real ship, smooth and dark, with no visible windows. It hovered silently, its shape blending with the night sky. Aaron grabbed Luma's arm. "They're here." Luma didn't pull away. Instead, she touched his hand gently. "They will come down," she said. "We must be ready." Aaron looked around the cabin. They had little defense, just their courage and the hope of the broken ship. He wished he had more to offer her. Suddenly, the ship sent a low pulse of light toward the forest. Scanning the area, the trees lit up like a sunrise for a moment, then returned to darkness. Aaron's breath caught. "They're searching." Luma nodded, her face set with determination. "We hide ship better. Together." They covered the ship with branches, dirt, and rocks. Aaron moved faster than ever, knowing this might be their last chance. After hiding the ship, they returned to the cabin and locked the doors. Outside, the mountain was still, but the feeling of being watched never left. The next day, Aaron checked the forest carefully. He found new footprints near the edge of the clearing, large, heavy boots unlike anything from Earth. He showed them to Luma. "They come," she said quietly. "We have little time." Aaron looked at her, then at the cabin. "We need a plan." Luma thought for a moment. "I use energy from ship to call help." "Help?" Aaron asked. Double quotes. "Yes. My people. They come if I call." Aaron frowned. "But they might take you away." "They may. But better than being caught by others." Aaron understood. The others who chased her could be dangerous, worse than her own people. She needed to leave soon. That night, under the stars, Aaron helped Luma prepare a small device. It was old, with blinking lights and wires that hummed softly. It connected to the ship's core. As they worked, a quiet bond grew between them. Aaron admired her courage, and Luma trusted him more each day. When the device was ready, Luma looked up at Aaron. "Thank you," she said simply. He smiled. "We do this together." Luma touched the device, and suddenly, a soft beam of light shot up into the sky. The stars seemed to pulse with the signal. They waited, holding their breath. Minutes passed. Then, far above, a new light appeared. A small, fast-moving ship, moving toward the mountain. Luma smiled. "Help is coming." Aaron felt hope and fear at the same time. He didn't know what would happen next. But for now, he was ready to stand with Luma, no matter what the night would bring. The mountain air grew colder as clouds gathered over the peaks. Aaron and Luma could feel the change. The wind whispered warnings through the trees, bending branches and scattering leaves across the ground. "It's coming," Luma said softly, her silver eyes watching the darkening sky. Aaron nodded. "A storm. We better prepare." They hurried to the cabin, securing windows and stacking firewood close. The quiet forest was no longer peaceful. It felt alive with tension, as if the storm carried more than just rain. That night, the wind howled like a wild animal. Rain pounded the roof, and the trees bent low under the weight of the storm. Lightning flashed, revealing the wild, dark forest outside. Inside the cabin, Aaron and Luma sat near the fire. The warmth felt small against the raging storm. Luma's face was pale but calm. She held a small device, the signal sender they had built together, close to her chest. "We must send signal now," she said, "before storms are strong." Aaron looked at her carefully. "Are you sure?" Luma nodded. "Yes. Help will come only if they hear." He helped her connect the device to the ship's core power supply. The ship, still hidden under branches, outside, hummed faintly, like a giant waiting to awaken. Luma took a deep breath and pressed a button on the device. A soft beam of light shot upward, piercing the storm clouds. It pulsed steadily, sending a call through the vast sky. The cabin shook slightly with the ship's energy. Luma's body trembled. Aaron reached out to steady her. "Your strength," he said gently. "You're doing great." She looked at him, eyes filled with quiet gratitude. "Without you, I'd fall long ago." Aaron smiled. "You're stronger than you think." The storm raged outside, but inside, something changed. The connection was made. For hours, they waited. The storm drowned out most sounds, but Aaron could hear the soft hum of the ship growing stronger. Luma sat quietly, her hands resting on the device. Suddenly, a distant light appeared far over the mountain ridge. It was faint but growing. "Help comes," Luma whispered. Aaron's heart beat faster. After so long, they were not alone. But the storm was not over. A loud crack of thunder shook the cabin. Rain poured through a small crack in the roof. Water dripped onto the floor. "We must keep power," Aaron said. "No letting signal stop." Luma worked with quiet focus, her hands steady despite the fatigue. Aaron moved to fix the roof with old boards and cloth. He felt the weight of the moment. This was more than just a storm. It was a test of their hope. Outside, the forest flashed. With lightning, the wind roared, shaking the trees. Inside, the ship's hum grew louder. The signal pulsed faster. Then, suddenly, the device beeped a sharp sound cutting through the storm. "Signal received," Luma said, eyes shining. Aaron smiled wide. "They know. They're coming." Luma nodded, but her face grew serious. "Still. Danger. Must be ready." She explained that once her people arrived, they would decide what to do next. She hoped for help, but also feared being taken away. Aaron reached out. "Whatever happens, you're not alone." She looked at him, a small smile breaking through. The storm slowly lost its strength. The rain softened to a gentle patter. The wind calmed to a whisper. Outside, the forest seemed peaceful again, but the sky was still dark. Suddenly, a soft light appeared on the mountain top, a small ship, glowing faintly in the night. It moved slowly toward the cabin, silent and smooth. Aaron and Luma watched it land in the clearing near the hidden ship. The new ship's doors opened with a quiet hiss. Luma stood, taking a deep breath. "They come." Aaron stood beside her, ready for whatever would happen next. Together, they stepped outside into the cool night air. The future was uncertain, but for the first time in years, Luma was not alone. The new ship rested silently on the forest floor, its dark surface reflecting the soft moonlight. Aaron and Luma stood side by side, their breaths visible in the cool night air. The cabin behind them was quiet, and the hidden ship lay beneath, a veil of branches and dirt, waiting. The door of the ship slid open with a smooth hiss. From within stepped figures tall and slender, their skin pale and smooth, with long limbs and eyes that shone like crystals. They wore simple clothing made of shimmering fabric, unlike anything Aaron had ever seen. Aaron felt his heart quicken. These were Luma's people, the one she had feared for so long. One of the aliens moved forward, his eyes fixed on Aaron. He spoke in a soft language, one that sounded like music and wind. Luma stepped between them. "Please," she said gently. In English, "He helped me." The tall alien studied Aaron carefully, then nodded slowly. He raised a hand, and the others stopped their steps. Aaron noticed their eyes, deep and full of intelligence. They were not hostile, but they were cautious. Luma turned to Aaron. "They want to take me home," she said quietly. Aaron's chest tightened. "Will they hurt you?" She shook her head. "No, but I don't know if I want to go." The tallest alien spoke again, and this time Luma answered in their language. The words were soft but urgent. After a moment, the leader looked back at Aaron. "You have saved her life," he said slowly, his English clear but careful. "For this, we are grateful." Aaron nodded, unsure what to say. Luma smiled faintly. "She says you are brave." The alien's eyes softened. "We do not often meet humans. Your kindness is rare." Aaron felt a strange warmth. Despite the fear and uncertainty, there was respect here. The aliens moved closer to the hidden ship. One reached out and touched the damaged panel. A soft glow spread from his fingers, and the cracks in the metal began to heal slowly, as if by magic. Luma watched with hope. They repair fast, she whispered. Aaron looked at the ship in wonder. It was as if the visitors brought new life to the broken craft. The leader turned to Luma again. You have been away too long. The council awaits your return. Luma hesitated, then looked at Aaron. You helped me. I want to stay. But I must go. Aaron's heart ached. I understand. She smiled sadly. You have given me strength I did not know I had. The alien leader nodded. You will be honored among us, and you will remember this place. Luma turned to Aaron and took his hand. Thank you, friend. Aaron squeezed her hand gently. Stay safe. The aliens prepared to leave. Luma stepped aboard the new ship. She looked back once more, her silver eyes bright with emotion. Then, with a soft hum, the ship lifted slowly into the sky. The hidden craft began to glow and rise as well, joining its sister in the night. Aaron stood alone in the clearing, the forest silent once more. But something remained. On the ground where Luma had stood, a small object lay, a smooth stone, warm to the touch, glowing faintly with blue light. Aaron picked it up carefully. As he held it, images and sounds filled his mind, stars, worlds, languages, knowledge beyond his understanding. He smiled softly. It was her gift. The mountain was quiet again, but Aaron knew his life had changed forever. He looked up at the stars, wondering if he would ever see Luma again. The morning after Luma and her people left, the mountain felt both empty and full of quiet energy. The forest seemed to breathe softly with the memory of what had happened. Aaron stood outside his cabin, the small glowing stone still warm in his hand. He turned it carefully, watching its soft blue light pulse gently. It was unlike anything he had ever seen before. Somehow, this small gift held secrets, knowledge, power, and connection to the stars. Aaron walked slowly back into the cabin. The place felt different now, even though nothing had changed. He sat by the window and looked out at the forest, remembering the days spent with Luma. She had come from far away, from a world he could only dream of, but her time here had changed them both. For 4 years, she had hidden, alone and afraid. Now, she was gone, but her story stayed with him. Aaron touched the stone again and whispered, Thank you, Luma. The light in the stone pulsed once more, as if in answer. Over the next days, Aaron found the stone helped him in strange ways. When he held it close, he could understand sounds differently. Birdsong became clearer, and even the wind seemed to speak. He found he could understand parts of languages he had never studied before. Even the stars above seemed to shine with a new meaning. Word by word, Aaron began to learn. Life at the cabin returned to its peaceful rhythm. But Aaron knew he had changed. He felt connected to something larger, a universe full of life and mystery. Sometimes, when the wind was just right, he thought he could hear Luma's voice carried softly through the trees. One afternoon, a small group of hikers passed by his cabin. They greeted him warmly, curious about the quiet man living in the mountains. Aaron smiled and told them little about his time there. The mountain held secrets, and he was content to keep them safe. But inside, he was ready for the next journey. With the glowing stone in his pocket and memories of Luma in his heart, Aaron began to prepare. He dreamed of one day following the stars, of learning more about the universe and the friends he had found among them. For now, he would live simply, but he knew the day would come when the quiet mountain could no longer hold him. Luma's gift had opened a door, one that led beyond Earth, to worlds waiting to be discovered. And Aaron was ready. As night fell, Aaron sat outside, the glowing stone resting in his palm. Above, the stars sparkled like diamonds scattered across black velvet. He whispered softly, Goodbye, Luma. Thank you for everything. A gentle breeze stirred the trees, and for a moment, Aaron felt not alone. The universe was wide and full of wonders, and he was part of it now.